It's great having you with me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. Today we're talking about doing it well, and this is episode number 107. There are a lot of people in the world today who figure that just as long as it gets done, that's all that really matters, and they're not terribly interested in how it gets done. So they don't really mind cutting corners or doing like a slapdash job of something, and it's good enough. I would really like to encourage you today to think about this a lot, to answer the questions, because I'm going to ask you more than one, very truthfully, and think about what this means in what you are teaching your child, both by your example and what you are actively showing them. So here's my first question for you. Are you committed to excellence? Because some people just are. It's kind of like innate in them. They can't hardly do things unless they're going to do it well. Actually, I know a young man, if he's not going to do it well, he's not going to do it at all. He isn't even going to try if he doesn't think he can do it well. But that's kind of an unusual personality. So are you actually committed to excellence? My next question is, no matter how much work it takes, are you willing to do the work to have a great outcome? Because some people aren't. I'm not saying they're lazy, but they're not extraordinarily hard working. And you need to know that about yourself. Because if you do tend a little bit to the lazy side, or you're just kind of like somewhere in the middle of the road and that's okay, you have to know that. Because oftentimes to have an excellent result, to do it truly well, it takes a lot of work, or certainly a lot more work than to do it badly. Okay, so those are questions you need to think about. When you put those into your challenge notebook, you don't necessarily need to answer them today. This is one of those longer term questions again, where you actually might write the question down and over the next week come back and say, well, I'm really committed to being excellent in this area of my life, but not in this one. And I'm really hardworking in this part of my life, but not in this one. That's kind of normal for all of us. We have areas where we excel and places where we're really willing to put in the work. Other places where, it's not that big of a deal to us and it's not a game changer. Why do I really care? That's okay. It's not a right or wrong answer. It's about you getting to know yourself better so that you can understand how you're going to do on these kinds of things. But when it comes to being a parent, for me personally, I think in my lifetime, I can honestly say that doing it well was probably my number one priority. Well, actually, maybe number 3, because my relationship to God and my relationship to my mate, and then my kids. But I'm just telling you, something that I had a strong drive toward doing well was being a good parent. Do you? Because if you don't, chances are you won't be a good parent. You might be an okay parent. Or, heaven forbid, you might be a lousy parent. And it will have ramifications. It will have ramifications in your own life, how you see yourself and how you think about yourself. It will also have implications in your children's lives for sure. And then, you know what? It will continue to have generational implications. Because if you aren't a good parent to your child, and your child doesn't see what that looks like, and your child doesn't gain that by modeling after your example, or your child becomes angry because they look around them at other people who have good parents and they don't, and they feel ripped off, all of those things will have negative consequences in your child's life and also affect the kind of parent that he or she becomes. Think that over really hard, okay? So a great way to show love and affection to your child is by doing this job well. All right, so to be a parent, we all know all you got to do is have sex, get pregnant, lay down the kid, and you're a parent. Voila, just like that. Even the guy's a parent. Even if he took off, he's still a parent. He might be an absent parent. He's still a parent. Even if you're a single parent, you're still a parent. Even if you're an absolutely crummy parent, you're still a parent. If you're an abusive parent, you are still a parent. Are you getting this picture? No matter what, if you've had a baby, you are a parent. So why don't you make a decision about the kind of parent you're going to be? This is a purposeful decision. not an off-the-wall one, because by accident you can be a lousy parent. But I haven't seen too many people who just by hook or by crook, by accident, they were a great parent. I just haven't seen it, okay? And so that's why we're having this discussion today. To do it well takes a lot of things. And after all, I've had more than 100 episodes. If you've listened to any, or if you haven't, if this is the first one that you get, I beg you, please go back and look at some more of these, because this is going to help you. And as I told you, this is a 2 to 3 year program of lots of aspects and areas and developmental processes in becoming a really good parent. But right off the bat, you have to decide that you're going to be a good parent or a great parent, that you are going to do this part of life really well. Seldom are you going to do this alone. If you're a single parent, I mean, the guy took off, or sometimes, and I've known numbers of people that this has happened to, you know, the woman took off. It doesn't mean that you can't find some people to help you. So if you have decent parents, your parents can help you. If the person who helped you have this child has decent parents, then get a hold of those people too. If you have aunts and uncles or older brothers and sisters or extraordinarily good friends, if you have someone in your church who is older, who is a really kind person and has kind of taken that you under their wing, or they're interested in you, you have lots of options of people who can help you out. That doesn't mean you hand your kid to them 3 days a week and say, deal with this. That's not what I'm talking about. It's about this person showing support to you and listening to you when you're struggling and being there for you when you're learning and developing as a person and as a parent. Okay? Now, here's what I want you to know. It is not ever easy. That's the truth. I actually thought about this recently. How many days of my life as a parent were easy? Not very many, okay? And that's a fact. It's a lot of work. That's all there is. And so to do this well, you already have to have this locked down in your mind. This is not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to be dedicated to doing the work, and it's going to be worth it. Okay? So you better get this straight in your head. It's not going to be easy. But let me ask you a question. If you have a job, was it easy? Seriously, I remember the first job I ever had as a cashier and a hostess in a restaurant. That wasn't easy for me in the beginning. I didn't know anything how to run a cash register. I was great at math. I could give change. I didn't need that thing to tell me. But you know what? Saying hello to people, juggling all the waitresses, making sure all the stations had the right amount of people in them, not having a huge group of people in one station and putting a huge group of people in that station so that waitress is freaking right out and coming up and yelling at me, which happened more than one time. It wasn't easy. I had to learn. And if I didn't learn pretty fast, I was going to lose that job. You understand what I'm telling you? You're not going to lose your job because your kid's not going to walk. I mean, they can't yet if they're little. But it does keep going and going and going. So if you're not addressing things when they're little, you're going to have bigger and bigger issues to address as they get older. The sooner you start to develop some skills, the better. And so put it in your head. It's not going to be that easy, and you're going to have things to learn. This is just normal stuff. It happens with everything we ever do in our life. No kidding. When we started going to school in kindergarten, most of us didn't know our ABCs, didn't know how to read, maybe knew some of our colors and shapes and whatever, but we had so much to learn. And that was just kindergarten. Then you had another 12 years, 11 years to go, right? And it just kept getting harder and harder and harder. You didn't sit there in 4th grade and say, okay, well, I'm never going to go to school again because, frankly, this is just too hard. No, you kept on going. First of all, you were required. I mean, your mom and dad were going to make you go. But second of all, you had friends there, and there was value gained there. And even at some level, you understood that this was important. I want to guarantee you that being your child's mama, being your child's daddy, is a whole lot more important than 4th grade ever was, okay? And so you keep on going even when it is really difficult, okay? Part of doing a job well is continuing through the difficult parts. That's a fact. Not quitting, not giving up. And so when I say to you that you can't do it alone and you need this support, sometimes those people just need to be cheerleaders. Say, you can do this. They don't need to take away the child for a couple of weeks and give you a break. They need to be able to tell you, you can do this, and maybe stand with you, come over and be with you a couple hours, but not take the pressure off. Okay? You really have to know that about yourself. That if you're one of those people who avoids pressure or runs away, in parenting, you need to stick it out. And it is in doing that that you learn to do it better so that ultimately you can do it well. You have to give yourself some grace. Later in the week, we're going to be talking about that. It's going to be episode 110. And you need to listen to that episode in a few days about having grace, because it's a big deal. You have to have grace toward yourself and your children. We're all human. In the beginning, you're not going to do it great. I didn't either. Oh, my lands, I did not. I had such a bad temper. There were a lot of things I did not do well in the beginning. I had to keep going, learn, develop as a person, develop as a parent. You're going to need to do that too. But you can do it. I promise you, I believe in you. I know that you can do this. You can do it well. And the benefits are astounding. I mean, astounding. My sons are 47 and 48 years old. My younger son is my best friend in the world. Oh, and I am his. He tells people that all the time. And I am very good friends with my older son as well. Do you know why that is? Because throughout their lifetimes, I have grown and developed with them, accepted them as they are, delighted in them many times for who they are, and been irritated sometimes with who they are, and worked through all of it. But most of it is because I established an awesome foundation with them as children. In my relationship to them, in the way that I loved them and appreciated them and poured my life out and my energy into their lives and into their characters and who they became. That is very possible for you. And I would like to ask you, please commit to yourself, not to me. I mean, I might just be a face on YouTube to you, but commit to yourself. And frankly, even to your children, that you are going to do this job of being a parent well. Let me add one thing to that. Everybody in the whole world knows the difference. You can go to work and be cranky. I know, it's Monday. I got to go to work. You can do that. No one's going to stop you. Or you can get up and say, hey, it's Monday. It's a brand new week. I get to go to work. And I am really going to accomplish something this week. Like, it is going to be a really great week. You get to choose that, okay? And you get to choose as a parent. Are you going to have a great attitude? Like, are you going to love this job? Not every second of every day. So I promise you, the kid just puked in your shoes and he's still green around the gills. Oh, and he has diarrhea and it's all in the carpet. Yeah, that's not going to be the most fun day of your life. I'm not going to lie to you. But in general, that you're going to commit, that you're going to enjoy this job, because you got a long time of this, okay? So you might as well enjoy it. So I want to encourage you today to begin to develop the skills and the attitude to be a parent and to doing it well. Thank you so much for being with me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below, or visit our website at paintabeautifulpicture.com. Thank you so much, and I will look forward to seeing you again soon. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.